Welcome back to Chauvet Arts, where we are continuing to exhibit our May and June show, Edible Dramas, Indulgent Art to Expose the Human Appetite, featuring Tennessee-based artist Denise Stewart Sanabria, a show intended to inspire reflection on multiple human appetites and challenge a deeper understanding of them. Our species has an intimate, lifelong relationship with what we eat. We elevate nutritiously vacant food to a fetish level, beautify some food to the point where it borders on toxic, and hybridize edible plants for their looks, not their taste, says Stewart Sanabria. So much of this reminds me of human behavior within a social structure. It can be destructive while also endlessly optimistic. This exhibit offers narratives and reflections on the condition of humanity, featuring vivid portraits of everything from produce to large-scale subversive jelly donuts. With an underlying anthropomorphic tone, Stewart Sanabria's works include jarred cherries swimming in a pool of artificial color, crystallized candy competing with baked goods of mysterious coloration, and fruits acting out ancient fertility rites. In addition to Stewart Sanabria's works, we've added pieces by Brad Sells and Charles Ivy into the mix. Brad Sells works in his own bark studio in his hometown of Cookeville, Tennessee, resulting in strikingly authentic sculptures made of repurposed wood from around the country. From large desks and tables to intricate bowls, Sells hand tints all of his pieces. Though located in a relatively rural area, Sells' artistic reputation, strong work ethic, and recognition of his unique skills have led to invitations to travel and carve rare woods on distant continents, and have his work exhibited in museums and private collections throughout the world, including the Smithsonian's Renwick Gallery in Washington, D.C. Spending most of his life in Tennessee, Charles Ivy has created art in just about every medium from welding steel to photography. Whether he's working in Venetian plaster, encaustic, or acrylics, once the paint is on the board or canvas, he works the surface through various techniques. This is where his work becomes truly unique. For more information on available works, upcoming exhibits, and future events, head over to our website to sign up for our newsletter and find us on all social media platforms. Thanks for stopping by Chauvet Arts. We'll see you soon.
This piece is titled Trophy, and it is made by Maisie Craddock, who is a Memphis-based artist. Maisie's work is largely influenced by the changing landscape of our natural environment. And for this work, she has literally brought a piece of the earth into the gallery space, as this is a branch that she has found and coated in this rich blue flash paint. And then on either side, you can see that the shadows of the work have been painted in with a yellow gouache, which kind of gives them a luminous feel.
What impresses me about this work, Amelia, is that it maintains the consistent visual vocabulary that Maisie has been working on throughout her career. The bold colors, the abstract curved shapes, these often appear in her tree branches and aerial depictions of the sinuous rivers, and I like seeing that here brought into 3 dimensions.
This is a series of works by Memphis-based artist Tim Crowder, and this is from his series called Small Paper and Wood. Tim is really known for using non-traditional materials, and I really like to think of these as kind of small thoughts or visual poems.
first thing that comes to my mind when I look at this installation is imagination. I want to create a story with some. I want to absorb the creativity of others. I really get drawn in, have a good time with these.
This piece is made by Brandon Donahue, who is based in Maryland, and this is one of his basketball blooms. And he makes these with found used basketballs that he assembles together into these mandala-like shapes.
I always love seeing Brandon's work. These, the shapes, the materials, they all come together to give such a warm feeling. And I think part of that goes back to its roots in sports, and how sports is something that brings us all together. And the fact that these are worn down shows that that community has happened numerous times.
This piece is titled Broadway Boogie Woogie, and it is made by Memphis-based artist Greeley Myatt, and it is made out of reclaimed wood. Greeley is really known for engaging with pop, surrealism, and folk art, and he has a long history of referencing quilts in his work.
I see that reference to quilt, and I appreciate that connection to the Southern tradition of quilting. And I also see it as a contemporary example in line with the international op art movement from the 60s. It just vibrates with energy.
This piece is titled Curly Fork, and it is made by Memphis-based artist Mary Kay Van Giesen, and it is made out of crocheted yarn and a found wooden pole.
This yarn and the gardening handle definitely subvert the expectations I have of a pitchfork, and it makes me laugh. I want to think about the different associations that can come from this, be it my garden and a functioning tool that I need for my garden that might not work, and also the value of craft and workmanship in society.
This installation is by Todd Lorenzen Wright, and he is another Memphis-based artist, and this is from his series titled Perceived, Remembered, Imagined, Distorted. And these are hand-painted ceramic vases on found cinder blocks.
It's interesting because they look like they could be soft, even though I know that they're ceramic. And I really like that tension. They feel alive. And they would be fun to see every day. It kind of has that same feeling that I was getting with Greeley Myatt's work, that it has this vibrance and energy that reminds me a lot of the 60s op art movement.
Yeah, he's really known for engaging a sense of play with his work, and I think these pieces in particular raise questions of authorship, art versus craft, etc.
Till the street lights turn off. Kiss me on the downtown on the rooftop. Kiss me. Don't care who sees. Take my clothes off. Won't know your name in the morning. I love the love.
Hey, I'm Marlo Savant. I'm an artist. I'm a painter, sculptor, musician. Oh, I make t-shirts too. So This is my Do It shirt, which is something I've been doing a lot lately. It's a rip off of Nike, which is like one of my favorite brands next to McDonald's. So it's been an uptick in people lately telling like black people and foreigners to go back to where they come from. So one day I was just thinking, I was in the studio and I was like, what if we took that literal and just like caused the next great migration and started our own civilization or culture? This is dedicated to one of our friends, Jessie Zazu. She was a huge social justice worker and advocate in Nashville and like super talented musician. She inspired a lot of people all over the world. She was in that group, Those Darlings, the lead singer. Tragically, she died about 2 or 3 years ago of cancer, but she left a strong legacy that a lot of us that knew her, we try to uplift that by continuing that legacy. So Ballin', this is dedicated to my homeboy, Brandon Donahue, Brandon Donahue's another awesome painter, artist, sculptor, but he does a lot of work about basketballs in his practice. So I wanted to dedicate it to him. This one came after the tornadoes in Nashville. And what it says is, a storm can't stop us. When the storm hit, me and a lot of people that I know and don't know, we were all like in the communities helping victims. And when I saw that camaraderie, that's where this shirt idea came from. It's the idea that something happened, everybody came together to get over it, so therefore like the storm couldn't stop us. Master is actually like one of my favorite shirts right now out of the whole bunch. I don't like living life with a master, and a lot of people I know don't either, so this is like acknowledging that. Another one of my favorites, the Hero shirt. So when I do read, I try to read like really informative books, and one of them that I was reading is Women, Race, and Class by Angela Davis. And in that, she talked about the idea of the black male being portrayed as a monster throughout history, just to keep people like in panic and afraid. So this shirt represents that idea. So in a way, I feel like by wearing it, you're defeating that stereotype. This is the gender shirt. For everybody out there that doesn't have to follow gender norms, shout out to y'all. Of course, we got Cookie Monster. Who don't love Cookie Monster?
Hi, I'm Ryan Noble. I'm a local artist here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'll be doing a show starting May 30th at the Modfellows Art Gallery. It will include 10 pieces of various styles that I've done mostly this year. The show is called Skyline Perspective, and I hope to see you there.
This was from a series of line drawings I did. This was my favorite one. It's called Seasonal Depression. It came out to be kind of like a rainbow image with a little black flower. And it's not overly depressing, and it's not overly happy. It's a little apathetic, and I think that's kind of how people feel a lot, especially right now. So it's kind of fit into the time. So this one's called Return to Bender. It was one that I just did spontaneously when I went to the studio. It's very similar to things I'm doing now. I'm doing a lot of textual pieces. So this is one of the first ones. And honestly, I came across some DMT, and I grab some paint and a marker, and these are really just the thoughts and shapes and things that flowed out of me.
Hello, greetings from Oz Arts Nashville. The art crawl normally doesn't extend this far west, but because you've gone virtual, Oz Arts is able to join you and to share with you highlights and some of the background behind a remarkable project by artist Jana Harper, a Nashville artist working collaboratively with composer Moksha Summer, choreographer Rebecca Steinberg, and videographer and video artist Sam Boyette to create a new version of what was originally intended to be a performance. This holding, originally planned to premiere at this time, has been reimagined for the camera, shot throughout Nashville at a time when we were all experiencing a safer at home mode. It's become a beautiful portrait of performers, people interacting with sites that may look familiar to you, with the environment, at a time when we're all questioning our relationship to our families, our homes, our cities, and our society at large. The expanded title, This Holding, Traces of Contact, refers to contact tracing, the method of testing and tracing contacts in order to slow the spread of a virus. I'm very happy with the way the artists have reimagined the project for this unique presentation. I hope that you will visit ozartsnashville.org to view the full project, and we're very happy to be part of Art Crawl. Hopefully we can do this again. Thank you.
The shift from creating live performance to video during a pandemic raised additional questions and challenges for us. I think that our original idea of presenting this on stage to an audience and having live music and having live dance is something that we all still dream about doing, and it's been an amazing thing to work towards. But then we made this really quick pivot to video, and it affected all of our roles. Everyone had to rethink and change their position and their role in regard to this work. Also, the transition for the dancers is a really interesting thing to consider. It also felt like it was an opportunity to kind of condense and distill this work into its most potent chapters, and to think about the possibility of it in the world in a different way.
Speaking to the way this project has adapted to be a film project, it has kept its core concepts and ideas, but has really been completely re-envisioned. The way that I would go about making an evening length work as a choreographer is entirely different to the way that I would go about crafting movement in the role as a movement director for a film. And so the first shift for me was to really step back from the idea of thinking of myself as a choreographer for a live performance and thinking about my eye as a choreographer for film. What's so fascinating about that shift is that the camera itself becomes a choreographer. And so I have been thinking about my role in tandem with the filmmaker, and then of course in tandem with Jana as the director, with Moksha creating the sound score.
I had to distill what would have happened in the live performance through music into these complete packages. Doing it from the studio did also allow me the possibility to bring in other musicians that I hadn't known would be available for the performance itself, which was really exciting. So I was able to bring in a string section for a few of the pieces, bring in horns for one of the pieces, bring in an additional percussionist for another piece, and so be able to actually, in the process of refining these pieces and really condensing the movement of them, I was able to also expand my vision of them in terms of what the components could be that would be part of it, that would convey the essence of what would have happened live. So it was interesting because where one thing kind of collapsed, another aspect opened.
This holding is a piece about weight. It's a piece about what we hold, what we carry, and the kind of fundamental research question for this work is, what are the burdens we carry? And I think that feels ever more tangible in this moment.
Hi, we're Mark and Kirsten Copley, and together we are Harp and Plough, coming to you live from home.
This is a song called Truth and Oil.
Too hard, I tried to fly, barely believing it. I cast off the very mention of the name that pleads me, reaches toward me, questioning. Why do you ask when no one is to I need, all I could be, is surfacing like truth and oil. All that I dreamed while underneath is surfacing like truth and oil. Tangled in the vine, I look away carelessly, turning my head, I turn straight back to you. Surprised and teary-eyed, almost surrendering, I close my eyes and pray only for truth. Could be surfacing like truth and oil. surfacing like truth and oil. All that I dreamed while underneath, surfacing like truth and oil.
Hi, welcome to the Red Arrow Gallery and our June virtual art crawl. This month, we're continuing with our online, in-home group exhibition featuring 20 Red Arrow artists. We invite you to come to the gallery for a private visit. Thanks for viewing, enjoy the show, and take care of each other.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us for the second edition of the virtual art crawl. This month we are featuring an online exhibit by Nashville artist Carla Chupho. This exhibit consists of two different new bodies of work, the first being a grouping of multimedia pieces titled Animal Instincts, and the second being a new video piece titled In Dreams. We're going to talk about these pieces here, but please check out our exhibition page on our website to look at this work in greater depth. So all of this work has been created over the last few months and is heavily influenced by the effects of the coronavirus on Carla's artistic process. This is what she has to say about these new images. Humans have three main instincts that facilitate our survival: self-preservation, sexual, and social impulses. These vignettes or stories are about disruptive change using hybrid beings. each displaying needs, impulses, and desires as mechanisms and feelings that guide their instincts. During isolation and COVID-19, my thoughts about survival have intensified. How this disease tests our most basic instincts. Epidemics challenge love and friendship. There are different manifestations of how they endure. Power dynamics are at play within nourishing relationships, personal pleasures, and virtuous sensuality. I don't know how the stories end. Perhaps they never do.
Still, do you wanna come over, talk till the sun comes up?
Our current exhibition at Unrequited Leisure is titled JPEG's Joint Photographic Experts Group Show. This interactive call for art invites you to show a JPEG image in our virtual gallery space during the month of June. If you have ever submitted a call for art, you are most likely already familiar with the term JPEG. This popular file format is commonly used to store digital photos and supports varying levels of compression, which allows photographic images to be quickly transmitted over the internet. What you may be less familiar with is the Joint Photographic Experts Group, which is the organization that gave JPEGs their name. In the spirit of forming new internet communities, which has undoubtedly been on a lot of our minds lately, the team at Unrequited Leisure has designed this interactive virtual group exhibition, and we invite you to be online with us. All of you. The guiding concept in this exhibition resides in the action of taking the call and organizing ourselves to create a temporary digital community. The first step is to select one image that you would like to exhibit in the virtual gallery. The subject matter of the image you submit is completely up to you. It can be a photographic work documentation of an art object, or of a performance, or of you cooking dinner. You are your own photographic image expert. Next, visit Unrequited Leisure. Come and upload your selected JPEG. All submissions will be displayed in a virtual exhibition space designed using an algorithmic code that randomly places the works, allowing the viewer to experience the show in a myriad of configurations each time they visit the site. I hope you all will consider being a part of this exhibition, because even though we are experiencing the loss of physical connections, it is still possible to explore all the infinite ways in which we can meaningfully come together in digital spaces.